What's going on, Cowboys Nation? Today, we're diving into Dak Prescott's thoughts on the Micah Parsons trade, and trust me, his words don't just touch on the Eagles, they shine a light on some deeper issues that have been brewing for a while. Before we get into Dak's interview, let's look at a recent report from Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated. Breer pointed out that Micah Parsons rubbed some teammates the wrong way. He was viewed by some inside the locker room as egotistical, even self-centered. His podcast? Yeah, that became a distraction too, and the ripple effects reached all the way up to Dak Prescott. According to Breer, Parsons' style of play sometimes clashed with the defense's structure. Coaches struggled with him freelancing, chasing splash plays, and leaving gaps exposed, the very issues Jerry and Stephen Jones highlighted during press conferences when discussing run defense problems. And here's where it gets interesting. Parsons once criticized teammates for trying to play Superman, but on film, there were plenty of times when he was guilty of the same thing. That kind of contradiction doesn't sit well, especially in a locker room that preaches accountability. Now, while nobody's going to say Dak directly called Parsons out, there's a belief inside the organization that the quarterback wasn't thrilled with how Parsons handled things. And let's be real, we've all seen the signs. From Malik Hooker's comments to DeMarcus Lawrence's subtle shots, it's clear some Cowboys felt Parsons was putting his podcast and personal brand above the team. So now the real question is this: when Dak faces these questions head-on, will we finally get a glimpse into how he truly feels about Micah Parsons? And let's be real, it's just not a good look when the entire team is locked in on football, and one player is out there putting more energy into building a public brand than winning games. That's the kind of distraction no locker room needs. With that in mind, let's shift to Dak Prescott's interview, because his perspective adds a lot of weight to this story. When asked about Micah Parsons being traded, Dak admitted he was surprised, not completely blindsided, but he didn't think the team would actually pull the trigger. He pointed to how the negotiations broke down, saying it started to feel personal on both sides. And honestly, if you go back and remember all those press conferences with Parsons and Trevon Diggs standing shoulder to shoulder, you could sense the tension brewing. And here's something fans can't ignore. Diggs openly backed Parsons during that whole saga, even when it became a massive distraction at training camp. Remember when he defended Parsons for skipping out and losing that $500,000 bonus despite barely showing up? That wasn't just support, it felt like he was helping fuel the drama. For a team that preaches accountability, that's not the kind of leadership you want in your locker room. Dak, though, handled it with class. When asked if the team is better now, he didn't take the easy way out. He said the Cowboys won't be better just because Parsons is gone. They'll be better only if they prove it on the field. But he also pointed out what the team gained: veteran defensive lineman Kenny Clark, a proven Pro Bowler, a true leader, and someone who's ready to elevate this defense right now. And while Dak didn't directly throw shade at Parsons, his words carried weight. Talking about Clark as a real man and a leader? That's the kind of subtle message that doesn't need to be explained. The focus now is squarely on the Eagles, and Dak made it clear the Cowboys are ready to move forward. Parsons may have gotten his payday, but in about a month, Dallas will see him again, and that matchup is already circled on the calendar. At the end of the day, Dak Prescott made it clear. He's glad the Micah Parsons situation is finally over. Not because he wanted Parsons gone, but because dragging it out would have been an even bigger distraction. Imagine sitting here week after week, answering the same questions about whether Parsons would play. It would have hung over this team like a storm cloud. Instead, there's clarity. There's resolution. Dak revealed he and Parsons exchanged messages after the trade, wishing each other luck. Simple, professional, and respectful. But here's the thing, Dak's leadership hasn't changed one bit. Parsons wasn't the face of this franchise. He was a defensive star, yes, but the Cowboys' heartbeat has always been Dak Prescott. This move doesn't change that. When asked how the locker room responded, Dak didn't overcomplicate it. The players didn't need a pep talk or a rally cry. They're professionals with jobs to do, families to feed, and games to win. Parsons hadn't even been around much this offseason, so the team wasn't sitting around feeling lost without him. If anything, the trade removed the uncertainty and allowed everyone to lock back in on football. And then came the powerful moment, Dak being named one of the Cowboys' captains once again. He spoke with pride about wearing that C on his chest, something he dreamed about long before entering the NFL. To him, it's not just a patch, it's a responsibility. It's proof that his teammates trust him to lead, no matter the chaos swirling around this team. That's the difference between noise and leadership. Parsons may have had star power, but Dak is the steady hand that keeps this team focused on the bigger goal. And as the Eagles loom on the schedule, Prescott's voice is the one the locker room is following. For Dak Prescott, being named a captain again isn't just a title, it's proof that his teammates see him as the standard for how to handle business the right way. He knows the responsibility that comes with wearing that C, and he embraces it every single day. Heading into Thursday's showdown, the Cowboys will walk into Philadelphia as the Eagles raise their banner and soak in the pregame celebrations. Dak has been through that before. He knows the lights, the noise, the distractions. His message? Simple: stay locked in. Focus on the game. Ignore the outside noise. He plans to make sure his teammates keep their eyes on the details, stay loose, and start fast, no matter what's happening around them. Of course, reporters kept circling back to Parsons, asking how the locker room was handling his absence. But Dak's answer cut through the speculation. The truth is, the Cowboys don't need a long speech or a team-wide pep talk. This is a business, and the players know it. If fans on the outside could see the questionable things Parsons was doing, you can bet the locker room noticed too. Some guys liked him, sure, but plenty of others saw the drama and weren't impressed. At the end of the day, the Cowboys aren't dwelling on who's gone. They're focused on who's here, and if this trade serves as a wake-up call, then so be it. The NFL is a business. Nobody's spot is guaranteed. And if anything, this moment only sharpened the edge of a team that already has its eyes locked on Philly. Dak Prescott didn't mince words when asked about moving forward. Life goes on, and the Cowboys are locked in on Philadelphia. The locker room hasn't lost a step. The energy is strong, the focus is sharp, and the players are keeping the atmosphere light while preparing for a huge Week 1 test. One bright spot Dak emphasized was seeing younger guys rise up. He praised defensive back Darren Bland, a quiet but relentless worker who leads by example. Bland doesn't need to talk. His effort, preparation, and consistency speak louder than words. For young players in that locker room, he's the perfect model of what it means to be a pro. Dak also highlighted the development of the offensive line. He pointed to Nate, who battled through injury in the offseason but came back stronger, proving he's athletic, talented, and mentally locked in. Then there's Brock Hoffman, a young lineman who already carries himself like a veteran. From his college tape to preseason reps, Dak said it's clear he's a professional who's ready to contribute right away. When asked about the offense, Dak's excitement was obvious. He praised Brian Schottenheimer and the coaching staff for the way they've built the system, calling it an attack-minded scheme designed to put the Cowboys in position to succeed. He can't wait to showcase it on the field. And then there's the growing chemistry with George Pickens. From off-season workouts to now, Dak says Pickens makes life easy. He's a receiver who gets open, creates separation, and gives his quarterback confidence. That kind of connection is exactly what the Cowboys need as they prepare for one of the toughest matchups of the season. Dak Prescott spoke with excitement about his chemistry with George Pickens. He described him as a big target who runs hard, plays like a true team player, and buys fully into the offense. Whether it's blocking in the run game or creating separation downfield, Pickens has been consistent, improving every single week. Dak made it clear, this is the kind of receiver who makes a quarterback's job easier. When asked about pressure, Dak didn't hesitate. Pressure is always part of being the Cowboys' quarterback, but nothing has changed. His mindset is simple: do the job, lead the offense, and let the results speak on the field. As he enters year 10, Dak reflected on the journey. He called himself blessed, thankful to be healthy, thankful for the growth he's experienced, and thankful for the opportunity to lead this team. With a decade of experience behind him, he said it best: experience is the greatest teacher, and now it's time to show that work on the field. Looking ahead to the Eagles, Dak was clear about the challenge. Philadelphia's defense may not overwhelm with complexity, but they're disciplined, sound, and confident in what they do. That makes fundamentals crucial: precise eyes, smart decisions, and playing with control. But more than anything, Dak stressed one thing: the Cowboys need to throw the first punch. Against a defense that thrives on confidence, Dallas has to be the aggressor from the opening snap. He also praised running back Rico Dowdle for his professionalism and attention to detail. A smart, disciplined player who does everything the right way, from finishing long runs in practice to handling his responsibilities in the locker room. Dak called him a valedictorian on and off the field, a testament to how much trust he has in him. And with the Eagles' secondary now younger and less experienced, the opportunity is there. The stage is set for Dallas to strike early, set the tone, and prove they're ready for this fight. Dak Prescott didn't shy away from giving the Eagles' secondary respect. He knows they're battle-tested, disciplined, and built on the confidence of being a Super Bowl winning unit. But despite their reputation, Dak made it clear he trusts his weapons on the perimeter. He believes the Cowboys have the firepower to attack, create mismatches, and make big plays under the lights. As for the long wait before a primetime kickoff, Dak explained his process. He focuses on staying calm, saving energy, and preparing his mind for the moment. Whether it's film study, reviewing the play sheet, or simply relaxing, it's all about being sharp when it matters most. He's even added breathing techniques to his pregame routine this year, a method he says has brought him peace, focus, and control heading into battle. By the time kickoff arrives, Dak is locked in, confident, prepared, ready to lead. This is a quarterback in year 10 who has seen everything, faced every kind of pressure, and still comes back hungrier than ever. And as the Cowboys gear up to face their rivals, Dak Prescott is sending one message loud and clear: Dallas is coming to fight.